follow? You're able to see this on the PC at the moment or not yet? It's not coming yet. Yeah, now it's supposed to. It's supposed to because it's streaming now on YouTube. It's supposed to. I don't see the window. I mean, I just see the launching. But if you capable of seeing it, that I hope. I'm trying to see because it's still a first step, so it's new. Good, good. So I hope. Can you speak again? I would like to see if your voice is inside the recording because I don't. Yes. Yeah. Good evening. Good. Yeah. So let's see. It doesn't come in. So I hope. I hope it will come because at the moment I don't see any coming in. So, do you see? By the way, do you see the YouTube? I'm trying to see if it's well. Yes. Okay. Let's see if it's coming because I don't have yet a reflection to see that it's starting. Maybe I should start another one so it's not clear. Still new here. Okay. Or let's see if it's coming or not. You can? I'm counting because I don't have a reflection, so you will be my eyes. Yes? Thank you so much. Thanks. And Yanis is here. Good evening, Yanis. We're very happy to see you. Thank you for the question, Yanis. Yes, Yanis has asked a question about Ruth, and also Shlomo had asked a question about half a shekel, the donation. And those two questions have like a common lens, though those who ask might not share this view, but those questions have common theme. Yanis, can you unmute and speak? Is it possible for you now to unmute and speak and ask the question that everybody could hear as well? The question about Ruth. Yes, if you like, if you can unmute and speak, that would be just wonderful. Yanis asked a question about Ruth, how Naomi is guiding her at that night to go to the threshold and wait and lay next to Boaz's feet. And then after hearing or listening to this advice, when Ruth is coming home, Naomi is telling her, sit and be still and wait until things will unfold. And the question was, what's going on here? So we can see two things. We can see the active part, the action, just to go to the threshold and wait for Boaz. Yes, and then after the action has been acted, though there is no doer, there is no personal doer, then to return and just to sit and see how everything will fall. So we see like an action and rest. An action, listening to this Naomi advice to go to meet Boaz in the threshold and to do exactly what Naomi advised her. This is the choreography, yes, of communication. There's a lot of choreography in those verses because there's very accurate advice what to do because it's a request in motion or notification in motion for Boaz. And after this act or this dance or this request, which is being active, does rest and see how it will fall or unfold. This is the story of Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz. Parallel to this question, or slightly before, Shlomo is asking a question. What is the meaning of half a shekel? Why, when there is like initiation to build a Mishkan, yes, this is a gathering tent, everyone is requested to donate half a shekel. What is the meaning of half a shekel? Because it's not just a currency. Shekel is not just a currency. It comes from mishkal. Mishkal is weight. Weight, when we scale things and see if it's light, if it's heavy, how many grams, how many kilos, yes, how many pounds. So what is half a shekel that everyone brings half a shekel? Everybody does, though there are many different donors, yes, every does half. What does it mean, half a shekel? You don't take over. Because if people are very, very rich, there is no need that the others will participate. Let's say one rich man can pull his wallets and pay everything, but this is not the intention, because in this way we can see who is the, let's say, landlord, or at least playing a landlord. This is not the intention. There's a lot of education is happening, or a lot of wisdom in this request to donate only half a shekel. We are donating half of a weight. We're not taking over. By donating half of a weight, we are doing, in a way, a limited action, which is half of the power or half of the weight. And the other half is stayed as an open field for the other to act, for the divinity to take its course. The other part is rest. It's non-doing. Because what happens, and I would like to open this conversation a bit, it's a very good start, those two questions, Naomi, Ruth, Boaz, and then half a shekel, and go to the world, to life. A few years ago, yes, it was before the corona, there was a great sense of economical growth. There was such a great sense of economical growth that the banks offered loans without, without interest. Just take money and grow and grow and grow and grow. So many companies and many people took loans because it's zero interest. What happens in such a moment? Every company take its own, reservoir, plus they take loans with zero interest that they don't need to pay much in return or at all. And they use it to empower themselves and to go to the market and put a great foot in the market, because they have seemingly a lot of power. They have a lot of financial background to act in the world, and it gives a sense false of we are the doers, we are the market makers. Yes, we can infinitely grow, and so there's a sense of alcoholism in the economy, because everybody feels that he can do infinitely, because you don't see any other source in the background. The companies are fueled with a lot of money, with a lot of cash. They want to recruit more cash, so they hire more offices, put more employees inside, furnish the offices with the best furnishing, invite more investors to see what is it's of course now everybody's seeing this scenery, this theater of great companies with great rooms, with great furnishing inside, with great employees, and so So they have more interest to invest more after the company took loan on zero interest. So they also bring investors, because there is a false sense that we are the only ones now living here and there's no competitions, and now it's the time to beat. And we are the doers, we are the makers, it's the great times, and let's beat the market. Good morning, Fernando. This is the sense that was before the corona, 10 years of it. This is the great times for economy. Take loans with zero interest. Yes? Happy to see you here. All of us are happy to see you here. So great companies are taking loans with zero interest. They hire offices, they hire employees. There's all the time buzz around what they do. They invite or they call more investors to come, and they look at debate and great offices, great towers, great. It's a lot of golden goose. Let's invest more, yes, in this project because it seems that the growth of the company is infinitely. So why not? Let's have a share of the market. What happens when the economic times of the waves, let's call it the waves of the economy, economic times are very high, there's a lot of shouting and everybody would like to be involved in such a thing because there's emptiness, there is no other. Those who are taking loans, the company, their investors, they feel on the horse, what a great ride, because there's nothing, because there's no rivalry. We just putting more and more money in our pockets, we take more loans, we enlarge everything. Investors are coming to see the great scenery of the great market in its blooming point, and everybody's act like there's nothing but their own thoughts, but their own calculations, but their own self-interest of infinitely growth, until things are changing. And now, let's say 5 years after the corona was already a great stopper of this madness, and there was a slowdown in commerce and the delivery, everything was slowed down. Also the Suez was closed, all kinds of things changed. And now when there's still people or the banks offering loans, but with a certain amount of interest, so people are a bit cautious. Yeah, we would like to grow, but they would like us to pay interest, and you don't go like a sheriff into the world as the loan is zero interest. There is a loan and there is amount of interest, and cautious. And many companies these days, let's say there's a great bank, just to give us an example, great bank, ancient bank in Israel now, announced that they are setting free 770 men and women from the bank, because there's no need to. There's a lot of people finding themselves, also programmers, because now AI is a technical thing that can take people pay a few dollars for an AI, and programmers, which used to be the hot shot from the 2000 until 25, are finding their way out or so. Why do we bring this picture from economy? Because suddenly it seems that it's not only me and my thoughts and my ability to calculate and to multiply. There's something else is going on. There is another undercurrent which is higher. Yes, invisible and higher than what people can grasp, calculate, perceive in their minds. So going back or returning to half a shekel as a donation, or to Naomi's conversation to Ruth, in those two chapters about half a shekel and Naomi and Ruth in the threshold, we can see that yes, there is ability to act by giving half a shekel. It's like half of the road or half of the way, or dancing in front of Boaz, this kind of choreography in the middle of the night. This is a communication, yes? But whatever we do, we are not the only actors or players in the field. Naomi says, sit, be still, and see how it will unfold, or will fall or open. And also in half a shekel, we are not the only players. Just a bit, a drop. Though there are different stories here. So from the half a shekel, building the Mishkan, the space of gathering of the or community or temple or church, it doesn't matter. It's a communal place. There is no need for someone to take over or to take charge or to take the billionaire that he will write a great check and build a church. No. A holiness or communal space is being built from each one is putting a little drop and then retreat. Not retreating, just sit still. There is no need to take over on the act, because we are not the landlords here. And this, in a way, it's not a law, but this kind of a footprint is valid for all. Ruth and Boaz and Naomi, we see this action and rest. 1 and 0, half a shekel. Yes, it's like 1, there is a donation, but only half. It's limited, just a drop, yes? And then sit still. Enable the others to participate, not take over. And also this is what is happening in the big picture, yes, in the economy of our times. Because when the money is cheap, everybody is having this seduction. It's a great time, everybody's zero interest, all the horses are running towards the sun, and now, everybody's very cautious, yes, not gross in any price, if ever, yes, and there's like downsizing in everything because there's a lot of extra. Today there was a conversation about economy in the morning, and there was someone who understands a bit in economy says there was a lot of growth, and I asked, what is the growth? Like, explain me, like maybe you can give like a parallel picture of a tree in the forest. He says growth is not, he was trying to say, don't try to take a picture from nature, forest or wheat or flower field and see in it and dimension of growth. This is not even in this dimension of nature. What the great companies that deals with economy, the giants, yes, this is not a growth, because a tree also, it doesn't matter which tree, whether it's oak or whether it's a fig or eucalyptus, it doesn't matter. A year has a percentage of growth every year in a cycle of 12 months in relation to the sun, to the rain, to humidity and so on. So but when the times of high economies develop a hunger or a taste for money, it's not even in this dimension of a tree, how much tree grows in 1 year. The dimensions of growth, which were happening before the corona or something, like nature does not behave like this. Yes. And now, 5 years after the, let's say the reset button, the corona, the COVID was a reset button. There's a reset of the systems, yes, because everything is just crack, opens, falls. Yanis was asking, someone was asking about 7 times a man is falling and rise at the 8th. So 7 times, and then it falls. There's a corona, there's a reset. 2 years quiet, and then there's reorganizing, reshuffling, rebuilding. Because we are not the doers. We are not the makers. We are not the money makers. We are not policy makers. We are not. And this is closer to the truth. So the happy economy years when everybody's shouting, and because it's not just that loans were on 0 interest. People were taking loans, not just a great company. Everyone would take loans and go abroad, and this behavior with no limitations and no consideration of the other was already seen on the streets. People could allow themselves to behave. I don't know, I don't have even words to describe. We considered to immigrate because it was someone could be murdered on the street. Like not once in a week, a few times per day. It was so dangerous. And no one could perceive where the danger could come from. So this is not a private behavior, though it is expressed by, like, so to speak, different dwellers in one building, in one neighborhood. This is the mood in the world, that everything is allowed. Yes, Fernando. Hello. Shalom, shalom. Good morning. How do you do today? Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you, Fernando. Israel was in the first year of Israel. There was it's it was not possible for people to even have a phone. Israel was established in 48 or so, and before there was a British mandate, so there were only few telephone lines. And from 48 only special people could register for a phone line. There were ministers or so. People did not have access to phone. Even later, there was like someone who is registered for the phone has to wait many years. We used to, yes, many years, like people registered. I heard a story. It's a fact. It's not just a personal case. People registered in the 60s. They received a line in the 80s. Yes. Yes. People registered in Israel in the 60s. They received a phone, a line, a connection in the 80s. It was about 2 decades. Once I was participating in a class in university, computer class, like there were different people there. One of them was a lady that she was the wife of the captain. Her husband was a captain of an admiral on the sea, yes, like to take ships all over the world. And since she told us in class, she was a senior citizen, and she said since her husband was a captain of a ship, there's a lot of responsibility, yes. Since he had the status of a captain, they had a telephone line and a phone in their apartment on the Carmel Mountain. And they were the only family or couple who had a phone in their area. And when the neighbors had to make a phone call, sometimes it was a matter of urgency. So they used to give the captain and his wife number, yes, to the relative if there's a need for them to receive or to call out. So they used to come to assemble in this captain's apartment on the Carmel Mountain, and they used to ask to call, or sometimes the captain's wife received phone calls and used to call the neighbors and in the building and also in the neighboring neighborhood, because there was one phone on half of a mountain. It used to serve the captain since he had a senior, let's say, duty. And all of the mountain was moving through their house, through their apartment. She told us this. And you see, people register for phone in the 60s. They receive in the mid-80s a phone. Yes. And now it's completely different. And 2 days ago, a man was asking me, because there was unimaginable line next to one of the telephone companies in the Bay, and people, yes, so it's similar to Israel, very similar. And people were standing, very hot day, the sun is beating, and people were standing like soldiers next to Pelephone, one of the phones company, and he was asking me, is there a new iPhone? And I said, I don't know, it's the 1st of September, maybe they off some kind of a contract, and maybe they need to renew a contract, who knows? Once in Vienna, we were in the winter, almost snow, it was Sunday, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, it was so cold, we had to stop walking and enter to drink some tea. It was like falling freezing. If your fingers are falling if you don't drink something or go to a warm area, just a lot of load when it's very, very cold. And we see people standing in the street, and I asked Andre, what is it? Why the 200 standing in front of the one shop? He says, no, they're waiting for a new phone in the snow. It's like a happening. So it's funny because people do not find vitality. So they need to buy all the time, every year, to renew a phone. People were waiting decades to get a landline, not an iPhone, not a phone, because there's also degrees. There's first a mobile, yes, what used to be around the 2004, 5, 6. So, and then comes a smartphone and so on. So for a landline, people were waiting decades. Not to mention the TV in Israel was having a broadcast, according to what we heard and what is the documentary is saying. They used to have a broadcast in the late 60s, 1 hour per day. It was the news, 1 hour per day, or half an hour news, yes, and 1 hour broadcast. Once per day, 1 hour broadcast. Not 24 broadcasting, and not multiple channels, and not private channels, and not satellite dish. Now you have also internet. And through the internet, everybody can open today a phone and make and stream whatever to you, any kinds of TikTok, Instagram. It's just constant. Yes. So it was different. The input was different. The other day again, there was a mother with a baby in a wagon coming, and the mother was occupied with the phone. The baby was like 6, 9 months in a wagon. The mother is browsing the phone, and the child is crying. Yeah. And there was like a nice couple in the bus, and they noticed that the mother is just browsing the phone, and the head of the child is under the sun in the bus. She did not even move. I don't know if you even noticed that her head was under the radiation. And there was a nice couple, and they were speaking to the baby in the kinderwagen, and she stopped crying, and she opened her eyes, and they were speaking to her very quietly and charmingly, just relating to her, and she stopped crying. And the mother continued to browse on the phone. You see, people are all the time are waiting, like to be entertained, to be fed, to be fulfilled with leisure, with pleasure. Like Fernando says, there is no relation to nature. Look at the tree. Look at the tree. There are different seasons. There is a different, yes, there's a different appearance to each tree, to the bees, to the butterfly. It depends, yes, in the flow of the year. And so it's beautiful to be in relation with what is happening. So beautiful. Today I was passing, it was again hot. I was passing through a station. It was for a light moment. There was a shade, and there was a man and a lady. So I said to them, "Good morning," because I passed in the shadows. Like, oh, thanks. There's a shadow, and they were shocked because I said good morning to people that I don't know. I never seen in my life. Probably I might not see them another time. So They were shocked, and then I said in another part of the city, good morning, and people say good morning also to people I did not see and probably I will never see, but it was so nice just to say good morning. And people you pass in the boulevard, you just, not to be charged, not to think that someone is acting against you, or if you did not set a meeting on the phone, you cannot say hello. So it's so it's good, good in the heart. Yes. Because when people go to life with a lens that I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna be a big shot, everything is steppable. Yes, because what is motivating the self-interest is, but when we walk in life with appreciation of everything, the sunrise, the birds, even the heat, it is different. It is different because it's closer to our nature, because our nature is more of a zero than a one. Yes, our nature is nothingness. Yes, when there's a need to act, so there's an action. So it's in a way you could symbolize it by the number one. So there's an action goes to the world like an arrow from the bow. But the action just is in the moment. But we are not the doers. Our true nature is be still, the stillness. And when there's too much of acting out, it's not normal, and it's not healthy. Yes, we were speaking about the years before the corona, when everybody were showing or were intending to really grow infinitely. What happens? Just a different lens. What happens in the human body when suddenly the doctors or the check says that there is a growth? Yes, in the body. Yes, when there is a growth in the body, usually it's not very optimistic note. It might be slow, but there is like a competition. If it's a growth, it might be a tumor or so. So it's growing on the yes. Turtle lives very slow life, but also very long life. Yes. Any questions? Jill, Fernando, Yanis. Jill, do you see the YouTube channel? Because at the moment I am not capable of seeing if you see any text there. Yes, if something is going on there, you can also be free, open the microphone and read if you notice something, if you want to ask something, Fernando, Yanis. So definitely it was different, and it was not that long ago when it was different. Okay, phone. Yeah. And now people are having, each one of the members of the family has a phone, parents and 3 children, so also there are like 5 bills to pay for phone. Yes. And also you have to follow up that the children are protected, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So people speaking now about downsizing, or it's natural. It's a healing. It's a healing process. It's not natural that everything is like exponentially grows. Suddenly imagine. Thank you, Jill. Imagine this something is happening in the sea, in the ocean, yes, and there's a lot of fishes, or a lot of dolphins, or there's also in nature there's a very thin equilibrium of life. Yes, and when it goes and spills, yes, like Fernando was asking, was mentioning the building of the cities of kind, so everybody's impressed by the buildings of high towers or so. Nobody's noticing an ant or a beetle or a flower, because people are more impressed of their own doing, though it's not their own, but still there is a more appreciations to what people make, like what nature is or life is. So the attention is always going out. Yes, Yanis, would you like to say something? Fernando, Jill, please feel free. So there is a time to act, but we are not the actors. And this is a great, great relief, because what happens is usually when there's no need to act, the brain is like a swell, how do you say, steaming, stirring inside. Hey, you have to do something today, you have to become. Yeah, this is what it does. But there's a lot of appreciation that comes from just being, because the action and the motion comes from unfulfilled. Yeah. There's time to act. There are things to do during the days. We're not the doers. But the brain is always luring us to believe that if we do more, faster, it counts. But it's without the brain, is just what it is. This is our true nature. Because whatever the brain offers us as a plan is all the time lured, yes, in a process. You have to do ABC steps in certain different hours. It's a becoming, yes, it's of a becoming, and suddenly you are invested in a process of 6 days, of 6 months. The brain is never fulfilled with now. It's very simple. Yes, Yanis, Jill, Fernando, would you like to say something? Or write something? Please express. So if you notice a different tempo in your lives, a slower, quieter, it's great. It's great. And with this beautiful message, I would like to thank, yes, Jill, I would like to thank each and every one of you of being here. Yanis, Fernando, Jill. Good luck, Yanis. Good luck, Fernando. Good luck, Jill. And good luck and happy good life to all those who participate and hear us as well. Thank you so much. We shall be happy to hear from you, Yanis. Tomorrow you're going to be engaged, yes, in a process. We shall be happy to hear how you're doing, if it's possible to write you text, and if you can answer in text or in voice. Everyone is wishing you a very, very good day tomorrow and good healing. Yes, we shall be happy to speak to you, to write to you. Best wishes from all of us. Toda and shalom to all.